moved here 20 years ago in 96. We decided we wanted to get a place in the woods. The cabin really appealed to us. It was a chestnut log built in 1847. The Wilsons that lived here, they were here at the beginning of World War II. And that's about the time, I guess, he passed away. Thanksgiving coincides with our family reunion, and they all come here, and it's really wonderful to see them all have such a good time, and they all get along. All my kids and grandkids get along.
More violence!
They get to do things from the time they're little kids, wading in the creek and hiking. It's just wonderful to see them really enjoy the place.
Everybody, pretend to be happy again.
Well, hey there. So we are here in the Buckaroo Room, or as we like to call it, the best place the two best buds ever did share a pair of bunk beds.
Morning, pal.
Morning, buddy.
Ready for another glorious day?
Oh, am I? So Ryan and I are actually the second couple to share the Buckaroo Room. At first it was Nolan and I, and we shared it for about 5 years when I first started coming to Woodbury for Thanksgiving. Nolan, of course, has terrible, terrible night terrors. And is on a submarine somewhere off the Russian coast, just scaring the heck out of all of his submarine mates.
I will now demonstrate the proper way to mount the top bunk. Important to note, foot over foot, never two on the same step at the same time. And you want to vault yourself in, like so.
Great job, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Grace.
And this is Ma's happy room, aka the sewing room.
This is where she keeps all of her supplies.
Fabric.
Printers.
Irons. This is also our safe space where we come to boost each other up and our egos after being torn down by everyone.
Oh, Lindsay, you're still here? Cool.
We are smart, we are beautiful, and we are kind.
And we just like to talk about our accomplishments.
So I'm about to graduate next semester. Yay! We really listen to each other because there's no one else that will, so.
Where'd she go?
She's right there.
Oh my
You know what's there?
She's like, you better be talking about my quilt.
We are standing next to the fire pit, which we have a bonfire every year after Thanksgiving. We gather around, many of us intoxicated. We see how big we could get it, and we go from there. Every year for the past 4 years, I've hidden bullets inside the sticks that we put down, and none of them's gone off, unfortunately. To make the bonfire, we gather all the men together. We hop in the off-road golf cart thingy, and it's pretty much a competition of manlyhood, who could lift the biggest stick and who could gather the most wood. Huh. It's a good one.
Pa,
got these in Japan. They're over 65 years old. Their value is astronomical, according to Ma. So if you find yourself in a jam, one disappears, they might not notice. She also said they were down the line to the basement and all the kids were afraid, but Mike especially. His screams were heard throughout the neighborhood, and there might have also been some pee, I don't know. This iron gate was crafted by Joe Brown, an iron worker who actually quit his job to get into art, according to Ma. And then this glass frame up here was Tom Furman's finest piece before he became ill and had to move out of town.
When Ma and Pa McBride put their addition on their lovely cabin, they of course had to have a princess room. Once you get the princess attitude, like everybody's beneath you, then you can really enjoy this princess room because you can stand out on the balcony and survey your domain. I wrote an ode to the princess room, which before the princess room was permanently occupied by second Princess Susan, had a place of honor hanging in this room along with the portrait of a beautiful princess.
Hail! Hail, Princess Jill!
This is a very special room, obviously, because we wouldn't have been asked to talk about it if it wasn't special.
We're in the living room, the great room. This is the original
He's kind of slow.
part of the house, part of the cabin where the Wilsons lived. It was built in 1840s.
Yeah.
And actually, I know there's a loft above us, but originally it went all the way over.
That's why you've got these awkward holes in the wall. It's troubling, but that's the reason. Obviously, this is where their hoarding happens. You know, it's almost like a public cry for help, you know, because they do it where everybody gathers.
This is where Poppy would sit and watch the football game while everyone would be in the other room eating Thanksgiving dinner.
It's like, help me!
This would be his dance.
I call this the nerve center of Arcadia. This is where the family comes together, and you know, we'll catch up, but most importantly, we'll air our grievances.
Well. I want to see you crawl up here and beg first.
So this is Pa's chair. It's the most valuable real estate in this entire house. You've got the command center of the entertainment here, and you know, even though I've got to fight him for it, he's getting kind of old and it's not much of a fight anymore.
Another big thing that happened in here was the infamous 2014 Thanksgiving, where Jill dropped the F-bomb in front of Mom and Pa.
God, I've never laughed so hard in my life.
They're hashtagging me as
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
You may not survive the night.
I actually peed in my pants.
Yeah, I know the spot's still there.
Pa's
That's
chair.
right. That's right.
I don't tell them.
Welcome to the loft. This is where Kaylee and I usually sleep over Thanksgiving. And this loft was originally went all across the top of the cabin back in the 1800s when Mr. Wilson built it for his 11 children. And you know, they needed some privacy, so he built them this loft. But these days, since it's cut in half, it's not quite as private as it once was.
Yeah, the rest of the family seems to forget that we're up here and that we can hear everything.
Did you see Noelle jogging? Really?
Yeah, you call it jogging, yeah.
I guess, you know, it's like awkward, you know.
I dropped a turkey in the driveway. Do you think anybody noticed?
Not with all that rub all over it.
This is Thanksgiving. We have to tell Kaylee that she's adopted.
No, she can never know. Never.
I've actually never seen Dum Dum.
you know, Kaylee and I are 7 years apart. I'm the older one, if you couldn't tell. Most people can't. But because of the age difference, I've had the opportunity to teach Kaylee a lot about life. I've taught her lots of things that she lives by to this day. You know, always put the cereal in the bowl before the milk. When you meet a boy and you really like him, make sure you tell him as early on as possible that you love him, because
which I've done in every relationship.
Yeah.
Since we are the two oldest girl cousins, we get loft privileges, and there have been many years where that has been challenged, but we always win.
There was the one year that Catherine tried to sleep up here. She snuck up here in the middle of the night, and we ended up pushing her down the stairs. She was okay, but she learned her lesson, and that was the important thing.
Well, this is our bedroom. This is probably the second largest room in the house. We commissioned a very good friend of ours who happens to be a wonderful woodworker to make us a 4-poster bed for this room. William hand-carved these posts, and it was like depicting a flower coming up in bloom, and that's why he called it Field of Dreams. This bed is also where Pa gets his beauty sleep, because he's the only one that needs it. This is also Pa's nap place. Every afternoon he takes a nap because it is so stressful here. There's just so much going on, so much hustle and bustle. Squirrels running on the roof, crows pecking at the trees, walnuts falling. It's just, the stress is just unbearable for him.
Patrick.
That's bed. There's my pillow.
That's cool. You go over, took it for that. Can't come here again. Calling again, it's hard. You know, calling again. The call at the hand of that. While the spring has the other but the house right. And so the dead life, God is not today. This did him. What did I do? Look at that guy.
I do have to tell you, I was shocked when they chose this location. Neither one of them ever lived in the country. They've never been country folk, and so this was just a total shock for me. But the memories they've made here and the life they've made here has been priceless.
Oh my God, that's fabulous. Is there a favorite room that you have in this house?
The bathroom.
A nuthatch. Has anybody seen Kyle?
This room, the kitchen,
the heart and soul of the house, you might say. There have been many wonderful meals made in this kitchen. We are fortunate to have many talented cooks and people who are passionate about food, old traditions handed down. This is the bar area of the kitchen. We're not really big drinkers.
This is good.
But we are a family of high achievers and many accomplishments. So you must have things available for the various toasts, celebrations.
Having a good time.
If Patrick does not get his toddy on time, heads will roll.
Yeah, bad boy.
Every cook has their own style. I, for one, am patient. That needs to come out of the pan now. Come on, we need to go. We need to go. Collaborative. Really not the right tool for scrubbing like this, okay? You know what? I think there's something to do over there. Excuse me. And encouraging. And I'm pretty sure last year I told you that we needed to get all the stems out.
This is the spring porch area of Wilson Hollow Roadhouse. And 364 days of the year, it's a room. It's a dog house in the wintertime with a heater. One day out of the year, it's where everyone gathers for Thanksgiving. And today is that day. For a large group of people, we have to set out various tables, and usually there are packs and clans at each table. And these packs can be vicious at times. They attack other packs.
Losers, losers, losers.
And some gangs are nice and sweet and docile.
You're a bad boy. All right, here we are in the dining room of Arcadia and the table here. And when you see this table in this dining room, you think of lots of things, and one, of course, is food. So when Thanksgiving comes around, this table is a veritable groaning board of food laid out here. You have Todd's fried turkey and Ann's mashed potatoes, Susan's biscuits and bread, and of course the dessert. The desserts, unbelievable. We have these marvelous pumpkin pies and decadent chocolate cakes and cobblers and crumbles, and oh, so yummy. And then there's Suzanne's contribution. The people who have been around this table have been a veritable minefield of material. Be judged, be judged.
A true legend. Enough, my meds.
Words to live by.
Thank goodness for Suzanne.
It's not all fun and games, particularly when we get to one game, Scrabble.
3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 20.
And by the time the last tile is laid, the final score is added up. Well, there's always the inevitable wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Below all these. No, it's okay. Damn, God.
Welcome to the deck. This is where we fry the turkeys. The turkey frying started in 1998, and we've been doing it every year since. And over the years, people like to give advice, and I found that I needed to start strapping up to keep advice down to a minimum and make sure that the turkey frying was successful.
You got a wing out. All right, go.
Frying the turkey is a very important role, and I take it seriously. And I like everybody to enjoy it, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing it. Yet again, people like to give a lot of advice, and I find that we need to keep that advice at a minimum. So some of the things people don't know is what it takes to get the turkeys prepared. One thing is you have to keep advice down to a minimum, and Nancy likes to rub the turkeys before she brings them to me. And again, she likes to keep that advice down to the minimum. So we find it imperative to keep the advice down to a minimum, whatever means necessary. So as the turkeys continue to cook and the smell begins to waft over and permeate the deck, a lot of people become more and more interested. And again, we like to keep the level of interest and advice down, whatever means necessary. So as the turkeys near completion, interest rises, and it takes about 3 minutes per pound to get the turkeys ready to eat. As they get ready to eat, the level of interest rises, as I said. And with the level of interest rising, questions start to emerge. People want to know when the turkey's going to be done and when they can start picking it. And again, you need to keep the level of interest and advice down to a minimum.
It's awesome. But Brian's mom wanted a potato, so I had to make it. I didn't really, yeah.
We will buy 4 copies.
There's no dark meat.
Yes, there is.
I just took it off.
No, you didn't. How does that go? Farewell, goodbye, of winners and today. We're happy, happy that you came our way. And if you put that on camera, I'll kill you.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen.